Israeli soldiers tried to open the grave of the famous Prophet Yusuf Nabi and move it to another place because of the religious issues and secrets behind this story. They opened the grave, but something very strange happened, an event that surprised millions of people in the world. If you want to know what is happening to these soldiers, stay with me until the end of the video, and to support me, just like this video, and stay with the Storytime channel. Well, let's start. Prophet Yusuf was one of the prophets of Bani Israel, and he is one of the most determined and noble prophets, whose story God has mentioned in full in the Holy Quran. As you know, Hazrat Yusuf had a very strange dream in his childhood. He dreamed that 11 stars, as well as the sun and the moon, bowed down to him. When he explained this dream to his father, his honorable father understood that he had reached the rank of a prophet and would have a high position and dignity. After a long time passed, there were many differences between Hazrat Yusuf and his brothers, and out of jealousy, his brothers threw Yusuf into a well in order to destroy him and destroy him. But miraculously, Prophet Yusuf was saved from the well and ruled Egypt for many years and gained great status and dignity there. A long time passed until the time of Hazrat Yusuf's death came. At the time of his death, Hazrat Yusuf bequeathed this to Bani Israel. He asked the people to take him to Palestine and Jerusalem and bury him next to the graves of his great-grandfathers, Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ishaq. After the death of Hazrat Yusuf, many wars and disagreements occurred between the Israelites, and the dispute was about where Hazrat Yusuf was buried, because the people of every city and country believed that by burying the Prophet of God in their city, many blessings will come to them. But in order for these differences not to intensify and end, it was decided that Prophet Yusuf should be buried in the Nile River. By means of the water that flows over his body, all of Egypt will benefit from the blessings of his body. Therefore, a marble coffin was made for him, and he was buried in the Nile River. Many years passed, and Hazrat Yusuf was buried in the Nile River, and there was no disagreement between the people until Hazrat Musa was sent. After Prophet Moses, one of the first things he decided to do was to expel the Israelites from Egypt. It was also because of the cruelty and injustice they had started in this region. When they asked the reason for their deviation, the scholars of Bani Israel admitted that they did not follow the will of the Prophet of God, Hazrat Yusuf. Hazrat Musa asked the scholars of Bani Israel the reason for this. They said that when Hazrat Yusuf was dying, he bequeathed to us that we should definitely transfer his body to Jerusalem and bury him next to his grandfather. Hazrat Musa asked them where Hazrat Yusuf's grave is located so that they could show it to him. The scholars of Bani Israel responded by saying that none of us know the exact location of Prophet Yusuf except for one person, an old woman who lives in a certain place and in a certain city. Hazrat Musa went to that old woman and asked her where Hazrat Yusuf's grave is and where he was buried. The old woman replied, "I will never tell you the burial place of Hazrat Yusuf unless you make me a promise and swear on it." Hazrat Musa asked in surprise, "What promise do you want from me?" The old woman asked Hazrat Musa to promise her that she will be with Hazrat Musa in paradise. But Hazrat Musa told him that the key to heaven and hell is not in my hand, and it is God's will that determines who will be in heaven and who will be in hell. But at that moment it was revealed to Hazrat Musa that this old woman received the promise of heaven from God. Give, and Hazrat Musa did the same. When the old woman heard the promise of heaven from the mouth of Hazrat Musa, and she felt relieved, she turned to Hazrat Musa and his companions and said, "Come with me. Take it out and throw it away." They drained the water there and dug there until they reached the coffin of Hazrat Yusuf. With the permission of God, Moses took out the coffin of Hazrat Yusuf, and it was decided to bury Hazrat Yusuf's body in the place where he was buried. He had bequeathed me to bury Hazrat Yusuf. He was moved to Jerusalem, which is now known as Jerusalem, and he was buried next to the graves of his grandfathers, Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Isaac. Many years passed until we reached the recent years, and the Zionist regime ruled in Palestine. It was a few years ago that news was published in the Arab media that the Israelis decided to open the grave of Prophet Yusuf and move the body of Prophet Yusuf to another place, and the reason for this is the special sanctity that the body of Prophet Yusuf has for Israelis. They plan to do this in the middle of the night, when all the places are quiet and silent, because they themselves knew that all these things are illegal and cause tension between Muslims and Jews. Therefore, they had decided to secretly open the grave of Prophet Yusuf and move it to another place. But when the Jews decided to open the grave, a strange thing happened that shocked everyone. Suddenly, they were attacked by armed Palestinian youths, and their plan, which was planned with all secret measures, was revealed to the world. After this incident, Hazrat Yusuf's burial place was placed under strict security measures, and Muslim armed forces were very careful there. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. To improve this channel, write your useful comments in the comment section and send this video to your friends. Your support will only take 10 seconds of your time, but it will help me a lot. I will repay your kindness. Take care until the next video.